Okay, we've gotten off the train and it smells like forest and we can hear cicadas. Now I want to take you to a part of Estonia that not a lot of people talk about. So let's cross this train track very safely. Bonk, 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 bonk. Okay, now let's continue our walk over here. In 1936, Adolf Hitler started to annex all of Europe, of course starting with Austria and then moving around and then moving into Poland on September 1st, 1939. By 1940, he had already come into Estonia. Nowhere was safe from him. Well, in Estonia, there was a large Jewish population, and like many areas, Hitler created concentration camps to collect all of the Jews and store them. And here, we're looking at the Klooga Memorial for the concentration camps, for the Holocaust that happened here. So here is what the Klooga Concentration Camp entrance used to look like. Massive big sign. And then we have a little tiny gate. And we have here, it's interesting, can the camera get it? Yeah. You still have words in Estonian and then in Russian. So back in 1940, whenever Hitler came in here, it was still, I want to say at the beginning of the Holocaust. There was not extermination camps set up here, but the concentration camps were here. We can see remnants of the past. All of this area. Over here, we can see where people used to live. Not even 30 years before, Estonia had just got her freedom in 1918. And then here you have this big bully, Adolf Hitler, rolling in. Oh, wow. I need a stick. I would love to go over there. Okay, maybe on the way back. This big bully, Adolf Hitler, coming in here to, I don't know, do whatever he was trying to do, organize people by religion. He created these concentration camps, large, inhumane areas to keep people he didn't like. And it wasn't just Jews. There was people from everywhere, even Germans that he didn't like. They all just went in there. Primarily Jews, though. So in here, we had men on one side and women on another side. And throughout everywhere he captured, he tried to keep prisoners moving so they couldn't form an alliance against him. He figured, if they can talk, if they're together too long, they're going to revolt against me. Leadership principle 101. If you think your people are going to revolt, you're probably doing something wrong. In order to actually make that happen, you had to have infrastructure and railways and all sorts of stuff built. So throughout here, that Mother Nature now has absorbed and cleansed. It didn't used to be like this. So we're coming here today to remember of what not to do. And to appreciate the strength that the Estonian people have. Estonia was ping-ponging between the Soviets and between the Nazis. And then in 1944, the Soviets came back in finally for a last time, recaptured it, freed the people who were stuck in these concentration camps. So these are a group of Jewish prisoners that were held in this barrack behind here. This whole system here was built for about 2,000 people, and it held about 3,000 people, which is not great. And I learned also that it started to house people in 1943. So while Germany had annexed this a little bit before, it wasn't until more, I guess mid-war, there's mosquitoes, that it started to annex everything. But we can see all sorts of not great stuff. Not great stuff that happened. So when it was imminent that the Nazis were going to be invaded by the Russians, they decided to kill everybody. So they rounded up everybody inside the barracks and they shot everybody. Over 3,000 people almost. There was 108 that survived, and those people hid. They hid and they kept quiet. That's crazy. So this here is the memorial to the victims of the Holocaust. Over 20 labor and concentration camps established here in Estonia. So this whole area here, the Klooga concentration camps, were one of the first documented camps of the horrors that were happening, that the Nazis were doing in these alleged concentration camps. The sign back there said that between 1,800 and 2,000 people were killed on that last day. So after the Germans killed everybody, they boarded a ship over in Polditsky and they were sailed away. Like they did not want to lose their life as well, which is, you know, kind of not how karma works. But in front of us, we see an old structure that's still established. So we're gonna go look at it. Ow, mosquito. Oh, so this looks like it's a massive grave to everybody that was shot on September 19th, 1944. Whenever the Nazis were rolling out. I find it fascinating how first the Nazis were dicks to the Estonians, and then the Soviets came in. I'm not sure if they were too much better. Sorry, Estonia. Now, one thing that I'll highlight is that the concentration and labor camps here in Estonia, in Klooga specifically, were made out of brick. And that's probably because they have a lot of brick. I mean, we saw all of the Soviet stuff, and all of that was made out of brick. But most everywhere else, the concentration camps were made out of wood. This camp also had running water, which was a rarity, likely due to the natural resources that Estonia has an abundance of. Here in front of us, we have another memorial. This one's beautiful. This is a really, really well done site. So one of the reasons that you hear of concentration camps and labor camps, the Nazi ideology was to just put the Aryan race in charge of everything and to get rid of the Jews. Well, in the great knowledge of Mr. Adolf Hitler himself, he realized that he couldn't do this. He was running out of workforce just with his German people. So that's why you have labor camps as well as concentration camps. Concentration camps really were just holding cells until someone's life would be ended. The labor camps were where you would have a lot of the people doing meticulous work that a machine should probably do. The Nazi people needed a way to get stuff done. And so here in this huge area, you had a bunch of that. Klooga was one of the concentration camps where you had people coming in from Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, all in here. There's other places around where you just have stuff of just like one country. But there was enough space here and infrastructure to hold a bunch of people. On the train right here, just from the side of the track, you could see a lot of the old infrastructure of what it would take to build, such an establishment. Because you need all of the bunkers for the people. If you're going to house 3,000 people, that's a lot of people. Even if you're cramming them in super, super tight, you have to house the factories and whatever else they're working in. Nope. I'm getting out of this mosquito area. You have to house the officers and their families. You have to give the officers something to do. So you have to give them a theater room and, I don't know, bathroom and like bath for bathing, not bath for like urination. You basically have to build these mini cities all in this forest. So I'm gonna go continue walking through this forest, appreciating and enjoying just the peace and appreciating the strength of the Estonian people. They've done so much since 1991, whenever they got their country back. Woohoo! It's such a beautiful place. So if you're from Estonia watching this, thanks for sharing your country with me. I love it. I will continue to come back and be a regular tourist as I have been for the last 10 years. Thanks for also showing Europe what the rest of Europe should be doing for a First Nation country. Hope you enjoyed my adventures today in Estonia. If you didn't, there's a bunch of other YouTube out there you can watch. Like, subscribe, or don't. See you next time. Ciao. Mommy Nature heals.